So I was looking through my Steam library for something to get myself back into the swing of reviewing games again, and I saw something interesting that I don't remember buying. Superhot Mind Control Delete. Something I later discovered was free DLC if you bought the game while it was still in early access, and I thought, hey, I remember enjoying Superhot, that game wasn't cripplingly terrifying at all, maybe I can make a quick review out of it. So, alright, Superhot. Oh, sorry.
Superhot.
A game that fully encapsulates what it's like to play a Source game with the game speed set to 0.2. Remember when you could play this game in your browser? You still can, but when I try to do it for this video, it still ran like shit. This is the retroactively dubbed Superhot prototype, made for the 7D FPS contest, a yearly event focused around indie devs making a full FPS in only 7 days. The Superhot prototype was an entry for 7D FPS 2013, and you guys probably know the rest. Time only moves when you move. It's a game with no plot, no reason, just killing red guys. At least it seems like that at first. The prototype went with a more tongue-in-cheek approach with a narrative that didn't quite take itself very seriously. That's most apparent by the prototype's ending, but the final game we ended up getting? Fucking terrifying. More on that later. Recording footage for this game was a little bit of a pain though. If you've already beaten the game, then the only way to start the campaign over is by going to the level select and starting from mission 1. There's no option to start a new game, but then when you finish a level, it plays your actions out in sort of real time that honestly looks a bit uncanny because of how smoothed out it is. Yes, I understand why it's like that doesn't change how weird it looks though, but the game keeps chanting super hot over and over while also obscuring the scene, so if you want to watch your replay back without the chanting, you press F5 to open the video editor, but the only way out of the video editor is by pressing escape, which sends you to the title screen, which isn't exactly a title screen but rather a pseudo DOS prompt that functions as one, and the only way to continue your campaign is by remembering what level you're on and restarting it. It's just a headache. The game follows a simple level by level structure. You're presented with a challenge to overcome, you can retry it as many times as you like, as your character can only survive a single bullet to, well, anywhere. And upon completion, you're given a bit of plot and or some mindfuckery. Yeah, this game has a plot, a pretty intense one too. So I'm gonna put up the old spoiler card here. This plot is best experienced blind, so go play through it now if you haven't. Also, real quick, almost 69% of my average viewers aren't subscribed to the channel yet. You could change that. Let's try to swap that number to 69% subscribed. Nice. You could always unsub later if you
fucking hate my content.
Yes, I'm joining this trend, and you can take it up with my complaints department. It's a trash can. The game does open pretty innocently, a friend of yours sending you the new hit game Superhot, claiming it's the most innovative shooter you'll ever play, which does come off a little bit egotistical by the devs, but trust me, it comes into play later. The first few levels are pretty simple, just shoot a couple of red guys, dodge bullets, lead your shots just a little bit, and boom, there you go.
Superhot.
Level 4 teaches you about throwing your weapons when you're out of ammo. You'll be using this almost as much as the guns themselves. A thrown weapon, including your gun, is a guaranteed stun and disarm. There's no cooldown on it either. If you're in control, you can throw your gun, unlike your firearms, which take a bit of time to fire again, as seen by your rotating crosshair. Disarming an enemy, grabbing their gun, and shattering them with their own weapon is almost always faster and more efficient than waiting for the cooldown on your own pistol to finish. Alright, so level 5 is weird because after you finish it, the level keeps going, and then after a few seconds of you wandering around, you just start drifting and then clipping through the wall, but then your friend messages you saying that there's a bug and that he has a patched version that'll fix it. All the while, you actually have to type during these chat room cutscenes. Well, kind of, you more just have to make inputs. You could tap the same button over and over and it'll automatically type it out, but for now, the game seems fine. Oh god! Level 7 introduces props that can be thrown around, a lot like throwing your gun, except bullets don't come out of a cup, believe it or not. That sounds like a stand ability. Still a stun and a disarm, and are great for stopping red guys from running to a gun on the floor that you also want, or disarming an enemy with a shotgun for just long enough for you to get in range to deliver some punishment. It's a fun mechanic. Level 8 emphasizes melee combat, which just feels really, really good. And then in the next level, you get the shotgun. 2 rounds, 8 pellets per shot, great for close range, but dicey at a distance. It's a shotgun, what do you expect? You can take out an enemy as long as a single pellet hits them, so it's possible to kill something at a distance with it, but you're really at the mercy of the spread RNG. The cooldown between shots, though, is understandably long, so I find myself throwing it out of panic before I get the chance to unload my rounds. It's not every day that I almost get run down by a semi-truck, but while we're at it, say hello to the auto rifle. A 4-round burst fire is pretty overpowered when you're able to slow time to aim each shot. Oh god, not again. So you get booted out of the game again, and your character is reasonably confused about how this is supposed to be the most innovative shooter ever when you're just killing red guys. So he cracks the game again, but then after the next level, I get shown my own house? Well, not mine, but the character's house that I'm playing as. But this is a bit confusing. Is that supposed to be me? Am I a low-poly red guy? Or is that just how it's shown through the game? I called them red dudes earlier, so what the fuck is happening? But then your friend contacts you asking for the password for the patch he sent because he forgot it. But then the game, or whatever the hell it is, starts rewriting everything I type to make me out to be the asshole. Which is a small touch, but it feels quite immersive, given that everything I type into the game is coming out of my character's text and not my own. And now my character's text isn't even his own. But me being the asshole, I go back into the game, and then...
Super hot.
What is happening? You gotta take on a lot of these shotgunners in a tight area, which is a bit of a pain, but then the cycle continues. You're right, I don't belong here. I need to get back to taking down red dudes with nothing but my fists and a katana! Who wants to hear my elevator pitch? I don't know what I'm doing! So I got a DM from the, I don't know, I'll just say the Illuminati. Superhot isn't a game. I'm messing with powers beyond my control, yada yada. Yeah, I promise I won't launch Superhot again. Fuck! Why the fuck would I? Oh, you want me to punch myself in the back of the head? Well, don't mind if I...
Oh, fuck. I can't believe you've done this.
Yeah, so that hurt. But it does raise a few questions. Whenever I log into the game, is it creating an entity that also appears in real life? Am I killing real people whenever I play the game? Am I really just a low-poly red guy? Also, am I taking control of an existing person to do my bidding, or am I materializing a red guy into existence? Is that red guy who punched me in the back of the head a real person who's just awkwardly standing behind me for the remainder of the game? Because that's gonna be an awkward conversation to have. And clearly, I pissed someone off. I can't play the game or do anything. You're forced to kill the game and reboot it to move on. I tried contacting my friend for help, but the program rewrote everything I said into super and hot. The game has fully detached me from reality and, well, there's nothing else left for me to do, so I might as well go back into the game. Oh yeah, injected right into my veins. Soon after, you unlock the next and final mechanic to stay aware of. But don't worry, when it's ready, the game makes sure you know it. Hot swapping, or body swapping. It has a pretty long cooldown, but once it's ready, just point, click, and boom, you're in a new body like Jamie Lee Curtis in Freaky Friday. The body you swap from does become an enemy red guy after swapping, adding credibility to my theory that we are somehow possessing bodies. But this is kind of awesome because it gives you a get out of jail free card when there's no way out of getting shot, especially if you're about to be caught in a volley of shotgun pellets. But you can even do some fucking galaxy brain moves like tossing a gun to an enemy, swapping to them, and then grabbing that gun for you to use it. It feels great. Oh, speaking of brains, the real agenda of the Illuminati, by the looks of it, is to upload my brain into the Linus Prism, truly the peak of human evolution. This is the game's only real boss fight, if you can call it that. Survive the hordes until your hot switch is ready, but switch to the core instead of a body, get kicked out, and then keep brute forcing it until it works. I don't know, you just sort of become God, I guess. I don't fully understand what's happening, but it's kinda cool. But there's one loose end left to eliminate. Trust no one, not even yourself. Alright, you did it. You're one with the machine now, and your duty is to keep playing Superhot, tell all of your friends about the newest and most innovative shooter they'll ever play. Play Endless Mode, upload your replays to Killstagram, all for the Illuminati. You know what this reminds me of? It reminds me a lot of the Polybius creepypasta. The story about an arcade game so addictive that it drove kids to murder, as well as being some kind of mind control device for the CIA. I used to actually believe this was a real thing for a while, until I saw Ahoy's video on it, then that just completely shot all possibility out of the air. But it feels like the Superhot team was inspired a lot by the Polybius myth, especially how you can access a secret menu for shit like literal mind control. As embarrassing as it is to say, this game actually managed to creep me the fuck out when I was playing it alone at 3 in the morning. And I can say that this might be the kind of psychological horror that I actually really enjoy. There's nothing to gross you out, there's no jump scares, just genuine distilled fear of being watched. And it's presented as fucking terrifying. Yeah, this game's pretty awesome. Even outside of the terrifying story, the idea of an FPS where time only moves when you move is pretty spectacular. I've only seen a mechanic like this used in Dusk with the blistering heat power-up. Oh, blistering heat, I get it. I'm no longer borrowing a VR headset, so I'm not sure if I'll be able to review Superhot VR anytime soon. But hey, if you guys like this video, maybe we'll revisit Superhot with mind control Hey, I really appreciate you making it to the end of the video. If you fancied the video enough, consider checking out my Patreon. Patrons got to see this video last Sunday. But yeah, I've shilled enough for this video. Have a good night, and I'll see you next time.